Last weekend, Theo Von found himself at the center of a viral moment. A clip from his performance started circulating online, and suddenly his notifications were going wild. But here's the thing, he didn't even know what people were talking about at first. So let's rewind and see what actually happened that night, and more importantly, how he responded to it all.
I don't know what to tell you about that, man. I'm having a long month. I'm trying not to take my own life. So I just want to get these photos.
That's the moment that blew up everywhere. But the story doesn't end there. Because Theo decided to address the whole thing head-on, and what he said next is actually pretty important.
I haven't seen the clip, honestly, and I haven't been online. I woke up the next day to like a bunch of things like, bro, what's up, or things like that, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, did I steal somebody's horse? Did I hit somebody with a vehicle? I have no idea. It was just kind of alarming. And then a buddy of mine sent me a clip, and I could just see the outside. And it was like, you could see me on stage. And then people were asking me about suicide. And I was like, oh God, and I don't even remember exactly what I said, but I can certainly see me saying something like, oh, just try not to take my own life, which I understand it's not a joke to some people, right? It's not a joke to me, but it is something that I'll say stuff sometimes. I say stuff, right? You know that. If you've this show before or seen anything, I say stuff.
One of the hardest parts about being a public figure in 2025 is that you literally never know who's watching or recording. You could have an off moment on stage, go to sleep, and wake up to thousands of notifications. That's the reality Theo faced. No context, no explanation, just his phone blowing up. And the worst part? He had to piece it together like everyone else, scrolling through his mentions trying to figure out what happened. It's a weird kind of violation that didn't exist 10 years ago. Your worst moments aren't just memories anymore. They're potentially permanent digital records. Here's where things get interesting. Theo's not denying he made the joke. He's not deflecting or playing victim. He's actually sitting with the discomfort of it. And you know what? That's rare. Most people in his position would either double down or completely dismiss it. But Theo's doing something different. He's acknowledging that dark humor doesn't land the same way for everyone. The comedy world has always had this unspoken tension between edgy material and the real impact it has on actual people. Theo seems to understand that tension, even if he doesn't apologize for his comedic style. That's the difference between someone who's actually thought about their impact versus someone who just throws jokes at the wall.
I would never take my own life. I would never take my own life. Okay? You hear that, Israel? I would never take my own life. I'm grateful to God for his grace in my life. I love my siblings. I have so many friends and people that love me and people that I want to see their children grow up. I'm hopeful that I get to wife and meet my own children one day. There's a ton of things in my life that keep me alive and hopeful, right? I want to be able to have an impact in the world. Those are just a few of them probably. So many just moments we've shared on this show that I'm like, oh, I live for those things, I want to see Vandy win a championship. So I'm going to have to be alive for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
This is probably the most genuine moment in the whole thing. And it's also the most telling. Theo's not trying to be funny here. He's trying to communicate something real to people. He mentions gratitude, family, friends, future aspirations. These are the things that actually keep people grounded. It's easy to forget that beneath all the personas and the comedy bits, there are real human connections holding people up. The internet loves to read the worst into everything, to assume the darkest possible interpretation. But Theo's essentially saying, yeah, I make jokes, but that's not the whole story. There's substance underneath. That message matters more than people realize, especially in a culture that's increasingly struggling with mental health conversations. There's something beautifully human about Theo throwing in that sports reference. It's not poetic or profound, it's just honest. Someone watching this probably wouldn't expect him to tie his reasons for living to a college football team winning a championship. But that's exactly why it works. It's not some rehearsed, therapy-approved answer. It's the kind of thing you actually think about at 2 a.m. People have goals, dreams, stupid little things they want to see happen. And sometimes those mundane aspirations matter more than the big philosophical ones. The fact that Theo can joke about it while also being serious shows he's actually processing this, not just performing sadness for the cameras.
So that was it, man. And there was a video about, so that stuff happened. But then the thing that like made it hectic was someone recorded a video of me making a passive comment, joking around about suicide. And I didn't know people were recording me at that time. I don't think that they are anymore. And I think I got to evolve in my own head that that's how things are now. And it's just been like, I've had so many people reach out. So thank you so much. I've had so many people say nice things. I can't believe, like, to me, it felt very kind of like in passing. And then I was just kind of burnt out. But just know that I'm never at a place like that. I'm far from a place like that. There may have been times when I was a kid or something where I had some negative, some stuff was scary. But yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. You're going to be here. And we're going to be here together like we always been.
The burnout part is the real story here. Going viral isn't always a win. Sure, you get attention and engagement, but there's also this exhausting cycle of people asking if you're okay, reaching out, offering support. It's overwhelming even when people mean well. Theo mentions that people have been nice about it, but he's still drained from the whole thing. That's the hidden cost of viral moments that nobody talks about. And notice how he keeps hammering home that he's not in a bad place mentally. He's saying it multiple times with genuine emotion. That's not defensive posturing. That's someone who actually wants people to understand. He's basically saying, I can handle the heat, but I want you all to know I'm solid. That's a level of self-awareness that a lot of people don't have, especially when they're being criticized online.
And that was it. There was nothing else to the evening. We tried to really keep things together. There was no drug issue. There was no when Coco showed up, there was smoke and but there was no, there wasn't it was just, there was just short going. The fuse was short going into it. I remember right when we got to the theater, some guy was supposed to show me to my dressing room. He took me on a 7-minute journey out into the caverns of some building. I don't even know where we were. We were there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles there. And I was like, oh, I'm already, I could feel my fuse being pretty low. But I still tried. I think back, maybe I should have pulled the cord. I don't know though. You don't kind of know until where you are, I don't think I would have done anything different. I made all the choices. I didn't realize how much stress I had, and that's it.
What Theo's doing here is providing the invisible context that never makes it into the viral clip. He's not making excuses, he's explaining circumstances. His emotional fuse was already short going into the performance. He had this bizarre, frustrating experience just trying to get to his dressing room. By the time he got on stage, he was already aggravated. Now, does that justify everything he said? That's not really the point. The point is that viral moments exist in a vacuum. Nobody sees the whole day, the whole experience, the chain of events that led to one particular moment. They just see the moment. Theo's essentially saying, I'm a human being, not just a soundbite. I had a weird day, I was frustrated, and yeah, I said things that landed wrong. But that one performance doesn't define my mental state or my value. And honestly, that's the healthiest way to handle a viral controversy. So what's the takeaway here? Theo Von basically just showed people how to handle going viral in a way that feels authentic. He didn't apologize excessively, he didn't act like nothing happened, and he didn't perform for the cameras. He just sat down and talked about it like a real person would. In an internet culture obsessed with cancellations and dramatic apologies, that kind of honesty is actually refreshing. Whether you think his jokes were appropriate or not, you can't really argue with how he handled the aftermath. He owned his stuff, explained his context, and moved on. That's the standard more people should be aiming for. At the end of the day, this whole thing shows us something we don't see enough of anymore. Someone actually addressing controversy with vulnerability and honesty instead of just playing defense or attacking back. Theo didn't try to minimize what happened, but he also made it clear that one moment doesn't define who he is. That's the kind of integrity that gets lost in the chaos of social media. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more analysis on viral moments and internet culture. And let me know in the comments what you think about how Theo handled this whole situation. Did he do it right, or do you think he should have handled it differently? Drop your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next one.